Hello, Happy New Year. It is 2023. And as I said in our newsletter, ready or not, we are here. Wow. If I could say a word about 2022, amazing and exhausting. I was in the middle of postpartum, so it's like, oh my goodness. But I'm so happy to be here with you. You are my Facebook, Instagram family. I'm so glad to be able to connect with you again. We have some January events coming up, but I hear about businesses that are talking, everybody's reevaluating what they did in 2022, what worked, what didn't. Have you done your goals? Have you done your vision? And I really started thinking, I think people need to know more about how to implement these goals, how to really create a vision. What is a vision, and why is it so important to be surrounded by like-minded business owners? Sarah Belmonte here, founder of Moms Out Marketing and owner of Design Remodel Pros. I'm so glad you found us. We are a community of amazing entrepreneurs who have come together not just for our business, to celebrate ourselves, our families, and the uniqueness of being a woman and the stages of motherhood, the stages of being a business owner, because my goodness, there's a lot it entails. So glad you're joining me on this mom journey. Today, we're going to talk to Kristen Marr, who is a vision board facilitator. So she's going to be with us all month long, and that's how we like to do our mom business topics. So every month, we have specific topics that you have told us you want to know more about, because these are going to help your business. So in the January, we're talking about vision. In February, we're going to talk about short videos. And we have so much more in store. But every quarter, we start off with a mastermind. So before we go into that, I'm going to welcome Kristen Marr.
Hey, Sarah.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm so happy you're here, because you're not only a colleague, but a good friend of mine. I love that that's what happens with the relationships, on Moms Out Marketing. So
absolutely.
Tell me, it's 2023.
Can you believe it? 2 days in already.
I know. And then this was kind of an odd year, because all of the holidays were on the weekend. It's like, so you didn't get any respite. It was all of a sudden, let's jump in. So that's why we wanted to just get in on this call today.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. Let's go.
I know, right? Okay, everybody take a breath. So everybody talks about, all right, I wrote down my goals here, I'm ready. But why do they need to have a vision? Like, what's the next step? How are we going to be preparing them through our mom mastermind and then the vision board you're facilitating on January 18th?
Awesome. Yeah. Super important question. We need a vision because we need to know where we're going. It's just like the easy analogies when you get in your car and, the GPS is going to tell you where to go. It's the same thing, in your life, and which is when you're in your personal business, personal affects business. So when you have a vision for both your personal life and your professional life, then it gets crazy clear to know what steps that you can take. But the secret is also in being open. So it's your job to know, like, okay, what do I want? And then get into the why you want that and let go of the how. So you need to start with the vision.
Okay. So I know you probably think you're talking to everybody else, but I always feel like she's talking to me. And everyone knows I'm a big planner. So even like people on our mom leadership are like, oh my gosh, we're already talking about next year. And it was, it was the summer, right? Oops. So you talked about how you don't have to know where you're going. And for a planner like me, what would you tell me if I'm like, but I need, like, how do I get there? I don't know what I want, I need a plan. How do I get to that plan?
Yes. So you want to know what you want first. That's always the first big question. Okay, what do I actually want? And sometimes we're not exactly sure what we want. So you know what you don't want. And that's okay to not know exactly. But by knowing what you don't want, it's usually the opposite. Like, for example, if there's, something that it's a pain point in your life. I don't want to do this anymore, but it needs to be done. Who can you hire to help you do that? So when I say let go of the how, what happens is when we look at, okay, this is what I want. And then we look at this is why I want it. When we get really, really clear on the why, the how shows up. What does that mean? It means you can take the first step. Like, for example, like, who can I call or who can I text or who can I reach out to? But it's not your job to know all the steps. It's just your job to know the first step, and the more will show up. That makes sense?
And I really noticed that, and that's why I respect you and your profession so much, because sometimes when I overplan, I am not allowing the opportunities that come in, and they come in naturally when I'm in the space of going through that vision and going through those goals. And so I can miss great opportunities that have really been put out there for me, or for you, anybody on the call. So I love that, allowing the space for more to come in by creating that vision, not just a complete map, I guess.
Yes. Well, it does two things. What it does is it allows you to know what you can do. And when you're open to like receiving opportunities and synchronicities will show up, because first of all, if you had everything you wanted, like if you knew what you were doing, you would have had everything you wanted. But this is part of life. We're here to grow. We're here to come from abundance. We're here to serve. So whatever it is that you want, by staying, what I like to say, your lane, and taking the steps that you can take, and allowing others to show up. And that's a part of going into, like, you want whatever you want it bigger than that, because it's going to take more than just you trying to do it. It's going to take others. Nobody's gotten successful where they are by themselves.
Right. You can't do it alone. And that's why, and I just shared right on there, we have our mom mastermind. It's a business mastermind with all our mom businesses. Join in. You can register. It's free. First timers come in and join us, because it's a great space that you can learn from other people. You get to also share what you know. And there's just something that happens that it's just absolutely beautiful when you get a group of like-minded people together who are ready to share, ready to learn, ready to grow. Everyone leaves these masterminds, because we started it last quarter. Everybody leaves these masterminds with a nugget. And sometimes they're huge nuggets. They are these things that have fueled their entire business. So I hope that you join us. I'm going to share the link in the comments. If you have already registered, go ahead and let us know and what city you're in, because we are all over. And love that about Zoom. We can join in from wherever you want. Just know that it is 9:30 Central Standard Time. And so I love that you talked about, okay, you can have a goal, or maybe you don't. What if somebody doesn't have a goal and they're going to be on this call? Are they too late in the game?
Absolutely not. Because what I've found is that when people are like, I'm stuck, it's because they're trying to do it alone. And that is where, then we get frustrated and we stop and we give up because we don't know what to do next. Well, this is where the conversation starts in the mastermind. We're here to help. We're here to guide. And we guarantee anything that you think you're stuck with, someone else is stuck to. Same exact thing.
Absolutely. Or they were stuck 5 years ago and now they can help you. And it's been really beautiful to see the development of what happens in these masterminds. So we do hope you join us on that. Now, not only are we surrounding them with like-minded business owners, but we're surrounding you with a topic that is important and pertinent to the time. So we talked about the power of a vision. And we kind of talked about a little bit about you having the goal and then the vision, but what really is the difference, and how these are questions that people have asked. So I'm sharing them on here. What's the difference, and how is that vision really going to help us?
So the vision is where you start. So the vision is, okay, asking yourself the question of, what do I want? When you look at goals, and some people don't love that word, so look at targets. Those are the action steps that you're going to go towards. So the vision, you have to start with the vision. You can't get in your car, and if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to drive in circles. So what is it that you want first? Then we pull in the why do you want it? And then we look at those, whether it's the goal or the target that you're wanting to, come up in your life, whether it's a thing or whether it's something in your business or personal, whatever that is. And then it allows you to get clear on, okay, this is what I know I can do. These are the action steps I know I can take. So does that make sense?
Yeah, awesome. So we have our vision, and a lot of people, I'd love to hear from people who are actually watching this either live or on the replay. Have you done a vision board?
Mm-hmm.
And did you do a vision board with a facilitator? How would you say that differs, Kristen? Because I know you've been doing these for years. Can you tell us your experience with the vision board and how this really came about?
Sure. What I've heard is the people who've been in my workshops, it's always my first question. Have you done a vision board? Have you ever done one? Have you done your one for the year? Because I do this all year. And I have had a lot of people say, yeah, well, I did it, but I just got some pictures and I put them on a board, and they're not super clear. Not everyone, but how to actually make your vision board work for you. So that's what I love to come in and show you a process I've developed after working with hundreds of people. And we lay out the process, get the board. And then there's another process that I call grounding it. That's how do you make your board come to life? How do you use your board as your tool and your guidance?
Okay, so I know that I've gone in and done a vision board before, and I'm going to, like I said, these are questions that have been shared with me and experiences that I've experienced through having a vision board. And I really had all the magazines, and I just kind of cut things out and I put it on. I had no idea what I was doing. And then I had these words that didn't even they resonated with me at the time, like meaning that moment, but they really weren't what I wanted for the year. I kind of used almost the magazines as a guide. How is yours differing? How can we really make sure that we are capturing what we want for the year?
So in the process I've developed, it's really saying, okay, so, there's a lot of things that people will just stick on there that they think they need on their board. One of the things that I always work with people is just release any vision of what you think your board is going to look like, meaning it could be all words, it could be all pictures, there could be white space or not. There's no wrong way to do it. Only 2% of the people actually sit down and do this process. People spend more time planning a vacation than they do looking at their life and planning their life. So when you're putting the words on there, and this is why I've developed this process, and I call it the grounding process, to say, okay, now that you put that on there, what does it mean? So not just like you just said, Sarah, in this moment, if you put the word success on there, what is your version of success? When you look at that word, do you what do you feel like success means to you? Do you feel like, where are you in the success chain? Do you feel like you've been successful? So you really want to when you put things on there, have an understanding of what it means to you. Because the one part of really pulling things into the life that you want is understanding that there's a feeling to it. Since your brain doesn't know the difference between something you're imagining and something you're experiencing, then you have to look at whatever that word, whatever that picture is, and then you have to act as if it's already done. So success is a very broad word. If you're looking at that word and you're just looking at it, say, okay, success, I want to be successful. Unless you've broken it down for you and what that means and looking at where you are, it's not going to really kind of land for you to then say, oh, okay, then I need to do these things. So do you see what I'm saying here? There's a process to understanding once you put the words up to make sure that when you're looking at, you're feeling into it. The feeling is really what's key to your brain.
Yeah, and we have set up for you, there's the vision board registration. Go ahead and check in the chat. We have that available. This is going to be a 3 hours of creating and coaching. So just like I was asking, okay, I don't want to just put things on my board. I want them to mean something. Yeah. And I love how you said that, Kristen. People spend more time planning a vacation. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's true.
It is. Before. Think about it.
And you talk about streamlining things or getting things together for the new year, but did you really think about it in terms of, let's say, your 3 months? I love to plan, by 3 weeks, 3 months, a quarter. Then it's like 3 years, and then you add on to that. And so when you're doing your vision board, I'd love to hear, are you only planning it for that year? These are common questions that I've gotten. Or is it something that I really want to also put my longer term goals on it? Am I putting my shorter term goals? Can you explain that when someone's doing a vision board?
Absolutely. And that's why I say there's never truly people, sometimes they get really hung up on wanting to do their vision board right. So depending on the time of the length of the workshop is how, deep we can go in, how big the board is. And I do have a process I've developed because exactly these are the kind of questions that have come up when I'm working with people. So it depends on what you really want to focus on. Do you want to focus on something in your personal life, something in your professional life? Where are you at with having that kind of in your life right now? So yes, it could be something that you want to definitely have by the end of the year. It could be, but it's also very important to look at your 3 and your 5 year vision. And one of the easiest ways to kind of do that is say, okay, I can look back at the past year and what I wanted and what actually manifested, what came into being, what didn't happen. So it's easy to go back a year. But when you look at your 3 or your 5 year vision, you want it to be even another whole level. You want it to be bigger, because that's one thing. My goal right now in 2023 is to help people understand the process of how you bring something you want into your life. But not just for the big things in your life, not just for the house, the car, the more money, the more clients, the more customers, whatever this kind of stuff in, which is the big thing where a lot of people think it's important. The only reason important to do your vision board. I like to say, take this concepts that I share and I teach and I support people on, and you can put them into your everyday life. So yes, it's absolutely important to look here in the now, because this is the powerful moment. This is the only moment, this moment right now, you can actually do anything. But you want to vision out. You want to vision out to 3 to 5 years. You want to look at what you're doing and you want to make it bigger, because like I said, if you had it all right now, it's because you'd know how to do it. And the bigger you look, the more you're welcoming and you're receiving. So you want to share what you want. You want to put it down on your board. You want to go into the feeling of it. What do it feel like to have this? This is so cool. And imagine that magnified, because when you declare it's here, you're knowing what steps to take. So,
and last question, because I think a lot of people have fear. We're fearful to grow. We're fearful of maybe not being successful or not making that goal or not making that vision. What would you tell someone if this is something they've never done? They're fearful of putting it out there into the world.
Absolutely. Fear is a big one. I mean, I like to look at hey, to break it down, what are you fearful of? Fear can just be feedback, but that goes back to okay, put that word success on. Are you afraid? Some people are actually afraid to be successful. So having an understanding that it's okay, where is the fear coming up right now? And that is another whole discussion, because then it's when fear's coming up, we're really breaking that down and looking at it. So part of this process too is look at what's holding you back, because I guarantee what you think is holding you back is pretty much not what's holding you back. It's your mindset around believing or thinking that thing that's holding you back is holding you back. It's not ever that one thing. It's your mindset about it. So it's a lot to break down in this kind of short conversation, but that's why I've developed the process I have. And it's not just come in and pull some magazines and throw them onto a board. You're going to be doing journaling and working and kind of understanding the process, and then going into that final process where you're actually looking at your board and going, okay, what does all this mean for me? Yes. What does it feel like to have it? So it's definitely a full-on circular process that I love working with people on.
And who can attend our vision board workshop that's happening on January 18th? Now, I have the date of the January 4th, which is kind of like the stepping stone into the vision board. But who can attend any one of these events?
Yes. Anyone who literally right now is hey, I really want to change something in my life. You're either being pulled by this vision that you have of something you've been thinking about for who knows how long, could have been years, and that you've just held yourself back, or you're pushed by something, you're just uncomfortable. I'm sick of this being like this. I want this to change. Somewhere in there, there's change. So whether you're getting that push or the pull, honor yourself. Take these couple hours, and just really, this is all about you and your life. And when you get clear on what you want, it then brings in your family, then brings in your friends. And I've actually had people who were like, it can be ego driven. I'm like, no, it's not. Because when you get clear on what you want, then you have the clarity and you can step into your life on a whole other level to be the mom, the sister, the aunt, the cousin, the wife, the partner, whoever that is in your personal life, which affects your professional life. So if you're in a place where you're just like, I don't know, it's a year, I want stuff to be different this year. Come give yourself the 3 hours, honor yourself, come meet a bunch of beautiful entrepreneurs who have been there, done that, happy to support. We hold space, all the materials are there. It is a super fun and cool process. And you'll literally come out of there with a physical board and understanding the process that got you there and then how to make it actually work.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so true. Ladies, we have to take time to fill our cup. Mm-hmm. I know there are a million things out there that feel like they are tugging at you, but I have learned, and I know we all share this, and we can't spread ourselves thin. We need to pour into ourselves. And doing these vision boards, having these networking opportunities is exactly what we do to fill that cup. So I hope you join us on January 4th. We network every first and third Wednesday, 9:30 Zoom. We also have some in-person and socials as well. So you can see the links right here in the chat. If you don't, just go to our Facebook page, Moms Out Marketing, our Instagram, Moms Out Marketing, and then, of course, our website if you're interested in becoming a member and receiving all the perks. We've also added where you can be featured in our newsletter. So if you have something to share, grab that membership, and we'd love to feature you. So, moral is, go out, pour into yourself, take time, because you are worth it. 2023 is your year, and we can't wait to help you become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely.
See you on Wednesday. Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thanks, Sarah. So much fun.
Bye-bye,
Appreciate
everyone.
you.
Happy
Bye,
New
guys.
Year.
Thank you.